Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Talkology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jen. He likes to play the two race cards, Graves. And today,
I do.
we are talking about King of the Hill, Episode 3 for Season 14. Or is it Season 15? No, Season 14. I mean, sometimes I feel like maybe you like to play the two race cards. I mean, without getting into stuff. Sometimes you've said that you're a little bit of black. Just saying.
I mean, I do like fried chicken.
That sounded really racist coming out of my mouth, I feel like.
It did.
I apologize.
No, like I was telling you before we came on here, I thought it would be really fun. Like, if there was a party game that like revolved around that would be hilarious.
I feel like
like a who's done it, kind of like what is it, like Cards Against Humanity, but I would say like a different thing than that.
Like, what's that game where you put the headband on?
Oh my god. And try and guess like stuff.
Yeah,
that would be horrible.
What are you?
Do I like fried chicken?
Laotian.
Oh my god. Do I have a meal involving rice? Like a main? Like, do I have it every meal? Every meal.
Oh god. Oh, it just sounds so bad. That sounds so bad.
Do I enjoy fried chicken? Yeah.
I mean, lots of cultures enjoy fried chicken.
Yeah, but with a side of rice.
Anyways, let's get off this topic for now.
That's okay. Board game companies, if you're listening, we need a board game like this because it would be fucking amazing.
I don't know about that.
I would get a group of people together just so we could play it.
Okay.
I mean, Cards Against Humanity is like racist, sexist, and everything. So
it's true. It is true. So yeah, let's talk about this episode. This was a really fun episode, I feel like. For the most part, it was fun. Bobby's parts were fun.
I'm only going to say, and this is going to make you sound even more like a racist.
Okay.
That the best part were the racial parts.
I think it's because they played it so like...
yeah, I agree. I think they played it off pretty fucking well.
Yeah, they played it off pretty well. And like Bobby's reactions were hysterical.
Like, the sad thing is, if we could have done this whole episode where it was Bobby trying to do this and him trying to figure out how to get around like the culture appropriation that somebody else put on him.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the museum, I think it would have been a lot better. I mean, we wouldn't have gotten the story of how Hank came to understand charcoal, but
true.
You know, it still would have been pretty good.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So, I mean, let's get into this. This episode deals a lot with race and a lot with the fact that Hank really, really loves propane. I mean, we already knew he loved propane, but like...
Oh, yeah. But Bobby tells us.
But what Bobby tells us, like, solidifies it. Like,
and I think we can for sure say that, because at one point he does say, well, Hank only loves 4 things. Yeah. America, my mom, me, and propane. And
it was God, his mom, propane, and Bobby is what it was.
Oh, I thought he said America.
Maybe, I don't remember. I remember God was in there somewhere.
I don't know.
Like he was God, propane, and me, and I think his mom or something. I don't remember.
I don't remember them saying that part.
I mean, I could be wrong.
America.
I could be wrong.
I think it was America only because they went to the American Museum. You know what I'm saying?
They went to the George Bush Museum.
Yeah, but that's still America. Say it. Say the line, Mike.
America. America.
Yeah, there you go.
America.
Yeah, and then Bobby says, and even some days I was scored lower than
I
Propane.
was lower than Propane. Yeah, so let's get into this. So our episode starts out with Bobby. He is cooking and getting stuff ready for the day. And Emilio comes up and he's like, "Hey, Bobby, we don't have no more charcoal. We're like
We have one box.
we have one box left." And so they're like, "Okay, well, let's get a new one because their supplier like went out of business."
They were going to try and see if they could get one from their supplier.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and then Emilio told Bobby that he went out of business.
Okay. And we also see the two other employees in this restaurant, which I think we only see them in this episode.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I forget what their names are, but we see them in this episode.
I think one was Sarah.
Was it Sarah?
Yeah, I don't ever think he said the other one, which that's also a funny thing I have to say on this is how Bobby was culturally appropriated by this one guy for most of the episode, but like he has Emilio, which I mean, Emilio. I'm gonna say Emilio is one of my favorite side characters.
Emilio is really good.
He is always Bobby's like side man, and he almost takes the place of like Bobby's mentor figure a little bit, and I just love it. Emilio, hands down, is one of the best characters. In side stories and everything else, I think he's a breath of fresh air to the series.
We only ever see him like at the restaurant.
Yeah,
we don't see him like anywhere else, which I hope he gets a bigger spotlight moving forward in like the next season.
Yeah, or even an episode where like Bobby sees him at the store, we find out a little more of like what's his family like or something like that maybe.
I won't spoil it, but there's something that happens in the store later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean like out though, you know what I'm saying?
Did we get to the part with the rats in the store?
With the rats in the store?
Yeah, the rats in the restaurant.
No, we haven't been there yet.
Okay. Emilio kind of shines on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so we have Emilio, which is of Hispanic descent.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I think it's Sarah. I can't remember, but
she has an accent.
I really want to say that Sarah is either like German or Ukrainian or something like that. And the other guy, I can't see, he never talked at all or whatever, so I can't even remember what this character looks like.
Yeah. But so, yeah, like Bobby has like a pretty diverse group of people working for him.
I mean, his staff is, and then of course, you have to include fucking Chang, but
Chang and then Ted.
Fuck that guy.
Chang and Ted, which they don't do themselves any justice in this fucking episode. Like, no, not at all.
No, the only good part was at the very end. So
yeah.
But they have that, and then of course we have this part where Hank asked Bobby on the car ride there. He invited the Dribbles, so they're all going to come down.
The Gribbles, not the Dribbles, the Gribbles.
You know what I'm talking about?
The Gribbles, yeah, because they're going to the George Bush Library.
Yeah, they're going to go do that, and he comes down, and Hank's talking to him on the phone. He goes, I brought the manual for propane and everything.
Yeah, for the specific propane tanks I think that Bobby was supposed to have.
For a grill or something like that.
Yeah, because he wants to check to see if he's like up to code or whatever.
Yeah. And then you get basically where he's kind of scared to tell his dad that they did that. Which, when Hanks talks about how their conversation went, you could definitely tell like that was not what was happening. What Hank believed happened wasn't what happened.
Yes,
because Hank thought, he goes all through like those uh-huhs and yeps. Well, you lied to me.
Let's get to it. So like he's talking to him like on the ride there, like you said, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna like check it out, make sure it's okay." And Bobby like has like a panic attack almost because he doesn't have propane. He basically lied to his dad, like you said. And
Yeah.
he comes up with the idea to come up with this story that like people broke in and just stole the propane tanks. He would believe that.
Right.
And this is where we find out the whole thing where like Propane sometimes ranked above Bobby in like the love scale,
Yeah.
which it was hysterical. And then we get to the point where like they get there, they get to the restaurant, and Hank's like, "Okay, let me check it out." And he's like, "Oh, you got charcoal? That's just a like
Just for show.
just for show to like but you really have propane in the back." And Bobby has to break the news to Hank, and it just Hank just looks defeated.
Yes.
Like it reminds me of the episode where Peggy and Bobby cooked with charcoal in secret,
Yeah.
and they would like hide it like a drug
Yeah.
when Hank wasn't around. He's like, "Charcoal, what's this doing here?" And Hank was like, "I can't believe you lied to me. You lied to me." Like,
Yeah.
like some of
Yeah.
his best talks he said was talking to Bobby about propane.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, like, what are your normal talks about, Hank? Like, is it just propane?
Right.
Like, how much can he actually talk about propane?
Oh man, yeah. I feel like Hank's probably one of those dads. You could start the conversation and say hello, how are you doing, and cut all the
Yeah,
small talk out, and then put the phone down. And Hank could probably keep running. You come back an hour later, and you're like,
it's
"Oh, are you
it's
still there? Yeah, have you
it's
been listening?"
it's kind of like us. Like, how much can we talk about anime? you know, I don't know.
I
That's what I
guess.
feel like. That's what I
I
feel like.
guess. I guess.
Uh,
I will say though, I do enjoy us kind of coming back because,
uh-huh.
and I'll say it for the whole episode. I feel like a big part of King of the Hill was kind of like the family around the dinner table,
Yeah,
and since Bobby hasn't been there, we haven't really gotten like any of that random crazy shit from Peggy where you
true.
know she made whatever dish she was making, and then we're like, what kind of dish is she doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
so now we're actually getting that in this episode.
yeah, we get to see like the fusion of German and Japanese food, which I was wrong about in the other episode. I think it was the first episode or second episode. I said I thought robata was like Japanese for Bobby or Robert.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was like a type of like way of cooking or like a Japanese dish.
Yeah.
I
I'm wondering if it's kind of isekai.
don't know.
Well, because like isekai is like not isekai. Um, keep talking. Come back to me.
Oh, okay. So Hank is defeated, and he's like, I gotta go clear my mind with not this fake Asian non-propane culture with going to the George Bush Library. So here's the thing, fun fact. I didn't know there were two George Bush libraries. I thought there was just one actual George Bush library in
I didn't know
Texas.
that either. Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh, I found the word. It's izakaya.
izakaya.
Yeah, it's like pub food.
So, yeah, and I live like maybe like 15 minutes away from the George Bush Library. I have never been there in my whole life, or I don't know. I mean, because I have George Bush Senior Library in our town. I don't know if they went to George Bush Junior's library.
Yeah.
I don't know. They weren't very specific, but I think it was.
It was junior.
Was it Junior? Okay.
Yeah, and
I really.
the only reason I can tell you that was remember when Dell got up and he started talking about, well, remember when during the pretzel incident when
Uh
George
huh.
W died on a pretzel and now it's Judd
Yeah. Yeah.
W or whatever, and I was like,
Jud
what the?
W. Bush.
Yeah, I was like, the
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah. Is there a point to
So,
this?
That's the museum. It was George.
Oh,
It was Junior or whatever. George
okay.
W.
Okay. Well, George W. is like George W. Bush, like the senior. Like they both have the same name.
Oh, well, Junior.
Yeah. Which I was really confused. I was like, I wonder how like I mean I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, I want to say I did look it up after the episode that I think his museum is in Dallas because I think
Yeah,
that's where they were. I don't know.
maybe,
Everything,
maybe,
everything, everything I could find was on the George W. Museum, like in my town.
maybe. Maybe for the show, you should go. You should go visit the museum.
I should go visit the museum.
Yeah.
I've been to the outside of the museum where they have like a piece of the Berlin Wall and stuff.
Okay. I really want to know if they have the pin and everything, like part of the stuff that was featured.
I do too. I do
Because I
too.
was like, this is some random shit that's
I
in
know, and
here.
I really want to know if like those things are on exhibit, like the shoe that was thrown at George W. And like
The
I was like,
fountain
did they
pen.
like actually like model this after the actual museum, like
Yeah,
the
the
inside,
fountain pen
the fountain pen, and the baseball?
and the baseball. Yeah,
Yeah, and Hank is just like eating this up. He is like, oh, I love this. This is just true American history,
yeah.
you know?
Which I like how the tour guide's like, oh man, this is a guy after my own heart, you know?
Yeah, I love this guy.
And then, of course, Dale gets up at some point and he's like, well, we always have one crazy a day.
Yeah, and then all the people in the tour start like they start agreeing with Dale and trying to learn more about Dale's like different like crackpot theories and stuff,
Yeah.
which is really funny. It's really funny because they're trying to have a battle of wills of like Hank trying to get the tour back on to like actual history or whatever, and Dale's like, no, we're gonna tell you about the history.
We're going to tell you about the real
You
history
can read it all in my what was it? He had it wasn't like
on
a
his, yeah, like a vlog
it
or
wasn't
on
a
a
it wasn't a
blog.
blog. It was something. It was Substack. It was a Substack he had.
Oh,
I think it was, which is basically like a blog.
yeah.
He's like, you can sign up to my Substack, and so we go from that to Bobby, and Bobby ends up finding. Oh, he calls the charcoal people. And the charcoal people tell him no, they're not going to sell to him because he's not Japanese. Somehow they found out he wasn't Japanese,
Well, it's
which we
probably
never. I don't
because of how he talked and what his name was.
maybe. And so they end up like trying to get it, and they can't. So what does Bobby do? He goes to Chang's fraternity, gets Chang to like go with him because he's like the only Asian person employed at the store or
Yeah.
the business. And Chang's like mad, and so they get there. They ring
Chang's
the.
bad because they were throwing like some kind of,
It was like a rager or something, like toga party, I think it was.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so they get there, and they're like, and this guy shows up, and he's black. He's a black male man, and they're like, "Oh, we're here to see." I forget what his name was.
Something with a Y.
I forget what his name was, but they go to see that specific person. He's like, "I am him," and they're like, "Oh, you're not Asian." And it was like, "Look, can we?" And then Bobby like puts two and two together. He's like, "I think this is the man we're looking for." And Shane's like, "You're black. You're not Japanese." And he's like, "I was adopted by a Japanese family, and I lived in Japan. I am Japanese." And so we find out that like Chang starts to like shoot his mouth off. He's like, "You can't play the two race card." And the guy's like,
No,
"I'm
that
gonna."
was Chang. Chang brought up that he was Laotian, and then the guy
Yeah,
was like, "Oh yeah, like worst of the Asians," and I was like,
yeah.
"What?"
And they were like, "You like to steal our culture and call it your own." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, which Chang fucking stuck his foot in his mouth
Yeah,
because like all that stuff happened, and then the guy he's like, I'll use whatever Japanese martial arts I know to, or I could steal to kick your ass. And he's like, you do know Laotians have their own martial arts.
It's like Aikido, I think it is.
And he's like, don't tell me about my own culture.
Don't tell me about my own culture. And the guy is like, I'm gonna sue you for discriminating against a black small business.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we gotta go. And so Bobby goes over to this Italian restaurant to ask, hey, I know y'all cook with it's a pizza restaurant, I believe. They go over to this, he goes over to this pizza restaurant to ask about the charcoal they use. And they start to basically like sort of grift him and like be like, hey, what are you gonna do about it? Switch leases with us, so we can get a better place, a better spot and stuff. And Bobby finds out that he is cultural appropriating the Japanese culture because he's white.
Yeah.
And so like he's trying to deal with stuff, and then he gets back to the
which do you think at any point in this that didn't Bobby have like a Japanese uncle?
He does. He does have a half. His Hank's brother is Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think his name's like Toroshi or something like that. I don't remember what his name was. It's been a while. He shows up later on in one of the episodes.
Oh, really? That'll be funny.
Yeah. He has a small cameo in like one of the episodes towards the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah. Those like Hank has a half brother who is Japanese and white, basically.
Yeah.
So like, is he really cultural appropriating if he has a Japanese uncle? I mean, maybe he got all his love for Japanese stuff when they went over to Japan.
Could be. I don't know.
But they get there. They get back to the restaurant, Rabata Chang, and Emilio's like, "Hey, you got some visitors," and we find that Ted and Chang are in Bobby's office, and Ted's like, "Hey, look, I know you want to cook with charcoal, but maybe you need to switch over to propane. It's cheaper and like easier to use." And Bobby's like, "I can't do that because it will like take away from the authenticity of like the stuff I'm trying to do here."
Yeah.
Which is a fair argument, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I think it's very fair. I mean, the other crazy thing is he is doing fusion food, and the fact that he still is keeping both of these kind of pseudo styles of stuff with the cultures together is still pretty crazy to me in general when it's fusion and you can kind of like mix and match on either side of those cultures, but he's staying true to like, this is how I cook it, and then this is kind of like what I do per se with it,
Yeah, no, most definitely.
He's found kind of that happy medium, I think.
Yeah, no, he has, and he is correct in his argument in this. And then we get to where I feel like stuff starts to ramp up with the race stuff. Where Emilio's like, "Oh, you got some other people here," and Bobby goes out, and we see 3 white people, and they show Bobby the flyer that the charcoal guy made, where Bobby is cultural appropriating, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, so what's the problem here? Like, y'all are white," and Bobby's like, I don't know, they're like, "Yeah, we're of German descent," and he's like, "Scheiße." And he's like, "What's the problem here?" He's like, "You're cultural appropriating our food. Like, how much German are you?" Because Bobby keeps talking about German hill country, German Texas hill country, which I don't know if there's actually Germans in the hill country. I don't know how true that is. But Bobby tells him, like my grandfather fought in World War II, and one of them was like, your grandfather Cotton Hill? And he's like, yeah, my grandfather's Cotton Hill. And he's like, he killed my grandfather. He's like, oh, your grandfather must have been one of the
Well,
50 men he killed.
yeah. And I think that was one of the best parts because Bobby said it exactly how
Cotton would have said it.
Cotton would always say,
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And so, like, things are just not going well for Bobby. And things aren't really going well for Hank either at the museum, where they go into like this room where they're going to reenact, I think, the housing crisis of, what was it, 2008? I think
Yeah.
it was. Which I was like, what are they going to do here? And like, nothing goes as planned whatsoever. You
No.
know, Hank tries to be the president, but he's not doing a very good job. Nobody's listened to him.
Yeah. Then we get
Dale,
some other kind of like little weird jokes that's mixed in with that.
yeah,
Let me tell you, I just got to say, I was watching this in the company of other people in my family, and it went sideways.
Here's the thing. I love this episode.
Yeah.
This part of the episode, I didn't care for it, honestly, because I didn't get the jokes.
I didn't really get part of them except for some other ones. But like I said, I had family that was trying to change it into something else. So I was like, that's not it.
Yeah, like I didn't get the jokes whatsoever.
Because like we had part of it that was on set by Dale, which is like, he's going to be the Rockefeller, and then this other guy was going to be the Queen of England, and they were like the two superpowers. Like the president meant nothing, and so that was kind of like funny for a second, honestly, because of the stuff with that Dale's been spewing out the whole entire time.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, then we had where another person said that they wanted to be Epstein, and and
that part was funny.
That's where it was kind of weird because Hank says like the Epstein from some kind of movie.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. And so that's where like part of that was for my family is like, oh, he's talking about the one guy that would that had the island and
the Epstein files. I mean, he was talking about that guy.
And I was like, I don't know if that's the guy that he's talking about.
No, he was talking about that guy.
Is there an Epstein in that show that was mentioned by Hank?
I don't know. I didn't get that reference, whatever reference to the show Hank made.
Yeah.
I didn't get that part.
But then we had where like a little old lady in a cowboy hat is sitting there and she goes, I want to be Obama's Ugandan, like, I can't remember.
It was
bodyguard or something.
I forget what it was, yeah.
And you're like, the hell?
What the hell's going on? And then so like Bobby is like, if this is the last time I'm going to be able to cook with like my charcoal or whatever, I want to do it right. I want to show people what I can do. So like he gets everybody who has had a problem with him today. The Germans, the black Japanese man, Chang and his dad, the Hills and the Gribbles are there. His dad's there. And he's like, look, like I'm going to cook y'all Japanese, German inspired from the hill country, like food. Like I'm going to cook this for you and show you like it's worth cooking it like this, basically.
Yeah.
And Bobby does it and they bring everything out and Hank is like not having it. He's like, it wasn't cooked by propane. Everything you said to me was a lie. All the meals I made for you were not good enough because they weren't cooked with this specific kind of charcoal, and like, he's like, Dad, like this is like authentic to the time. And Peggy eats it. And this is probably one of the best things Peggy actually says in the entire series. Like,
yeah,
she's like, no, it's really good, Hank. You need to try this. Like, stop acting like a wet blanket, basically. And she's like, no, it's really good. Everybody's kind of enjoying it, and Dale wants to get Hank's portion of the food because he's really good. Because like he has like these like shish kebabs with like I think like sausage or something on it, specific type of sausage.
It's a sausage that has been stuffed with daikon radish, something else, and then like the pork.
Yeah, and so like Hank actually tries it. He's like, Bobby, what is this? And Bobby like explains to him what it is. Like it's my own creation. And like Hank like walks up to him. He's like, it's really good. And like Hank starts to, I feel like do like reasonable gymnastics in his head to try to work things out because it's not cooked with propane. But he was like, hey, you know what? Like the people who did Robata back in whatever time period it was didn't have propane, but if they did, they would probably use propane.
Yeah.
I think is what it was. And like,
well, and Bobby gets a lot of other things from all the other people. Like the German people were like, oh, we want to put this in our newsletter and have it during some kind of festival they were going to have.
Yeah, it was like Oktoberfest or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then, the black Japanese guy was like, oh my God, these shouldn't work together, but they do.
They do work, yeah. He's like, I'll help you out.
Yeah, and so, I mean, there's just like a ton of stuff that all these other people, really relied on, I think, Bobby for that, which I will say that, check mark for Hank, check mark for the German guys, check mark for the black Japanese guy, and the Gribbles and everybody else, Joseph, I mean, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about that part with Joseph.
But then we also had this whole, like, BS, like, I feel like the Wasana-sans didn't even acknowledge anything with it.
No, they basically said, like, we could sell this or make a deal with you to, like, sell it at the festival, I believe.
Yeah. But it was like they kind of took it for granted. So, you've seen it all. I'm sure something like that may pop up later.
Yeah. They don't do a festival later on, I don't believe.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the part with Joseph, which was hysterical, where Joseph was at the store, like at the restaurant, and he was talking to Bobby, and Bobby was talking about being like cultural appropriation, stuff like that. And Joseph's like, this is earlier on. Joseph was like, yeah, I'm the only white guy on the construction crew, and I don't get everything and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand this. Like, it's like, I don't get it. And like, we see Emilio be like, like he's like, and then Bobby like shakes his head. He's like, don't fucking say anything.
Yeah. Don't say that. Don't tell him he's Native American.
Don't tell him he's Native American. Which Joseph would be Native American and white, so it's not wrong. Which isn't really. True. Here's the thing. Here's a question I have. Is it really cultural appropriation if you're biracial?
I would still say yeah.
But you're taking from both cultures. Like you're taking from, like, say if you have an actual black Japanese person, like, and you get both of those cultures of the black culture and the Japanese culture.
I would still have to say yes, because other people aren't going to see it that way. That's the sad reality.
It's true that is because you're either one or the other.
Well, because like you have that whole argument of things, and it's really what your outward appearance is.
Yeah,
like that's one thing I feel like was kind of a weird topic for the black Japanese guy.
Yeah,
because like he kind of was trying to die on that hill. Like I lived there.
He was trying. He was like, I'm Japanese,
but he acted like nobody else could ever experience that.
Yeah, which is
and being like, with me coming from a family where like all of my nieces and nephews are biracial, that was kind of a thing that, because of like the different shades some of them are, that it's like, well, you can't be this, yet in the same vein of like other family they have, they're like, well, you have to be this on your birth certificate. You have to be that, even though outwardly they look different. and you have other people that go, well, you can't technically be that way. You know, you look
So-
like a white guy.
So, getting a little
Yeah.
personal here.
Yeah.
So, my daughter, you already know this, but my daughter is biracial.
Yeah.
And on
I
her
just thought
birthday,
I gotta make a ridiculous sex joke real quick. I just thought she had a light tan. I didn't know that.
She just had a little tan.
Yeah. Terry Crews is the best, okay?
But on her birth certificate, she says like it says it's white. She says, well, it says she's white.
Yeah.
But she's of mixed race, and like
Yeah.
she hates it when I'm like, you're white.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not white. I'm Mexican and white. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're white. What are you doing? You're
Yeah.
culture appropriating. But yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you know, I think that's also a thing that's just kind of funny too. You can't necessarily judge a book by its cover.
No, you can't. You can't. And yeah, I feel like they were judging Bobby by the cover of his skin, obviously.
Yes.
But all in all, like,
and I would say something else that hits home for you.
For me,
his Texas accent.
Oh, his Texas accent. First of all, the Texas accent is I always just throw it on. Like it's not even my actual accent.
No, I mean, you know, like that little inflection like Bobby has, and then like the guy said, "Oh, well, you weren't raised in Japan."
Yeah, you weren't raised in Japan. I tell you what, you know.
Yeah.
You're from Texas, you know.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it is what it is. Well, what did you think of this episode? Like all in all,
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
I still have to question on like the part that we were talking about with Joseph. Like, how dumb can you be?
That's true. That's true. I feel like Joseph is smart in some ways, but like other ways, he's just like dumb as a box of rocks.
See, I don't know.
Or he's just really, really naive to like the world.
And I kind of want like an in between thing. Like, when did Bobby realize that?
Yeah.
Because you know, like back in the day, it seemed like they were both like, "Oh yeah, you know, Dale's really his dad, not
like when did Bobby realize that?
Not what we got in this episode where Emilio starts trying to tell him, and Bobby's like, "No, don't say that.
Don't say it. He's white." No, and I wish they do. I wish they hopefully like we'll explore that later, like Joseph and like more like I know Bobby's like basically the other central main character in this.
Yeah,
but like I would love for them.
I had to ask you a question because I noticed it when they had the part where they were sitting down for that little conference thing.
Yeah,
but you know that Dale and I can't remember her name, Nancy, they don't wear their wedding rings, and I thought they used to always do that. Like,
did they? Maybe
in the older seasons.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't animate them in. Because thing is, I don't remember Hank ever wearing his wedding ring or Peggy. So I don't know.
I don't know because I feel like they did, but
maybe we have to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, like I really, other than like that one part where they did the whole like we're gonna role play the financial like housing crisis until 2006 or whatever it was. Yeah. Like I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun and really, really well written.
Yeah.
Like the jokes landed.
And I just also have to say, out of all the anime that we've covered and things or whatever, and this being like an American cartoon, I like how everything, like you and I both have this part that we don't like.
Yeah.
But it was all solved in the same episode. And I feel like a lot of animes that we've watched, you know, that whole little thing to figure that out will be like a 2-episode arc. And then
2 to 3.
Then the next episode will be where it comes to like conclusion. Yeah. So, you know, I just have to say that like I can't really like say I can give this episode like a low rating, like probably
Yeah.
4.5.
No, like this episode was funny as hell.
Yeah, but
It was really funny.
It's really weird that I can say a 4.5 because we got everything kind of in that package.
Yeah, like when
of this episode compared to other things we've watched where this episode was a 2. This episode was a 1. Oh, we finally got the whole meaning of that. This episode's like a 4.
No, like when the black Japanese guy came out, I busted out laughing. And then he accused Bobby of cultural appropriation. I busted out laughing even more. Because of course Bobby would get called out for that.
Yeah.
Of course
well, it was so fast.
Yeah.
Like whenever he made the little flyers that had Bobby on it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that was fast. Like,
yeah, no, this episode was a lot of fun.
And then of course, like all the people he called.
Yeah, and all the people who found out, like Bobby was fucking canceled.
Well, I kind of thought that the guy was the one sending it to all those. Like he was like, oh well, who else could he ask? He'd ask the Italians.
Yeah, he asked the Italians.
Who else could he ask? The Germans, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, Jen, where can they find you?
You can find me at Bard's Tavern on Instagram. You can find me at Manga Restart on Instagram, and of course, everywhere that Otakuology is.
You can also find me at the Otaku Mike on Instagram or YouTube as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. This will be on our YouTube channel. We got our first troll. I forget what his name is. It's like Whoop Whoop or something.
I don't know.
We got our first troll, and we're thankful for our first troll. Whoop Whoop. Just say.
I also feel like we have to say he's not going to back down. Whoop whoop. So keep giving us those views and comments. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening, and we will
see you next Tuesday.